Hey, on a Wisdom Sunday, December 13th, 2015, we've kind of burned through some of the key parts we're going to try to put in the computer. Again, I'll straight out from the beginning tell you, start of this video, as seen in the title slide, I'm not a tech guru. A lot of this is over my head. This is simply kind of for my record and to sort of showcase the product in terms of the aesthetics. We might also cover selling points as seen on the boxes. In terms of evaluation, improvements, all that type of stuff, that is not, this video is not for you. So what we have here, this is the graphics card I selected. It is the EVGA GeForce GTX 970. This is the ACX 2.0. Reason I selected this one over a 980, price and also performance. The 980 isn't really going to offer me anything above and beyond what this one can, aside from the satisfaction of telling people I have a 980. And quite frankly, I don't have many people that would be a beneficial bragging point. And since this card performs so well, the reviews on it are fantastic. It is going to be more than adequate for what I need to do. And similarly, if I do decide to kind of step up the game a little bit, I can SLI with another one of these cards and still come in cheaper in a 980. So let's go ahead, and the packaging very nice. My nephew has a GTX 970 in his computer and it has performed well. So again, that's kind of my experience cashing in on this one. So introducing the best graphics card cooler ever made, EVGA ACX 2.0 with optimized swept blade fans, double ball bearings, and an extreme low power motor. EVGA ACX 2.0 delivers more airflow with less power. So 26% cooler, 36% quieter, 250% lower fan power, so that'll be nice for the electric bill, and 400% increased fan lifespan. Let's see, is there anything we need to cover here? EVGA is #1. Well, that's nice to know, right? Don't settle for second. They're the #1 seller in the US and the UK, performance leader in 3D Mark. So this graphic card requires 500 watt or greater power supply. Again, they actually have a very handy utility on their website. And again, we went to Corsair HX 750i, so we're good in that case. PCI Express 2.0, or PCI Express 3.0. I can't really read through the packaging there. Compliant motherboard with 1 graphics card slot, 1 PCI Express power connector, or 2. Again, can't really read through, so we need to get this wrap off to analyze that. That's what the card should look like. Again, pretty sleek, pretty nice. One of the reasons I'm opening this thing, I kind of want to see if I'm interested in maybe pulling off this shroud and painting it. I also have a back plate, so sort of imperative we take a gander at it. That's it. You've got the display port, HDMI, another display port, DVI, and a third display port. So coming around here, GeForce GTX 970, support for concurrent displays. Key features, I don't think we're going to cover that. It's not exciting, and it's probably something that I couldn't adequately explain to you. So, swept blade fans right there. Again, you kind of get a feel for their ball bearing setup. They've got the 3-phase low power motor, top and bottom bearings there on the rotor, I suppose. Lower GPU temperature means increased headroom for overclocking. A redesigned fan motor, swept blade fans, and lower RPM allows for cooling solution to run cooler. Most graphic cards have a maximum power ceiling, meaning the lower the power consumption on the fan, the more power available for the GPU. More power equals more overclocking capability. And then, of course, double ball bearings give you up to 4 times the lifespan of competitors. Oil-sleeved fans. Oil-sleeved fans have a limited lifespan eventually. The oil will dry out. So, pretty nice selling points there. Again, the reviews on this, I don't think I saw a bad one, so that is good to know. Particularly when you're like me, you're doing this stuff for the first time, you don't have a thorough understanding of everything, and so those reviews actually become a useful tool for you. The price on this, again, it was fantastic. I sourced it through Newegg. I honestly don't remember what I paid though, so my apologies there. I think, let's see, that's taped off as well. Let's just open this side. I think it'll be a little easier for us. Again, main thing we want to do is just cover some of the selling points and take a look at the aesthetics of the card. So, please note, if your product is not working properly, contact EVGA, essentially. So, I have heard also that EVGA has some pretty outstanding, tech support, so that is another perk. Hopefully we don't have to use it, but if we do, that is good to know. Alright, we have got everything out of there except this. Which, what is this? I don't know. It's something. Is it a manual, a user guide? Okay, Art of the Game, Innovation and Inspiration. I didn't know this was in here. And I'm not sure what it is. So, it's a cool touch though, so we got a giant poster that won't fit in the frame. And if you're into that sort of a thing, bravo, you have a nice little perk there. We'll set the box aside for now, and let's see the contents we've got here. Alright, so everything's kind of inside this manual. What is this? This is our graphics card user guide, okay? So, simple enough overview, hardware, quick start, details, SLI software, multiple displays, quick fixes, support, and compliance info. Sort of what is covered in there. This, I guess, would be the drivers, and then we've got a pretty sweet looking case badge, if you're into that sort of a thing. So that's something, I guess we could pull that out for you. Makes sense to at least showcase what we can talk about and understand, right? So it's adhesive, right? So you just peel that off and you stick it wherever you want it, and we are good to go there. So pretty cool deal. I kind of like that. That's, I believe, the best badge we have seen out of what we've unboxed thus far. So kudos to EVGA. Right here, ACX 2.0. This is kind of what we covered on the sleeve there, just an exploited kind of fancier diagram, really. This would actually look good on the packaging out front. That's something they might consider in the future. Let's see here. Important notice. Da-da-dum. Will not turn on until they are needed to cool the card. Okay, so if you fire this up and you're like, oh, it's defective, the fans aren't turning, be patient, let it build up some heat, put a load on it, browse, play a game, run it through a benchmark test, they should kick on. Let's see here, EVGA 900 series. Pretty much just, I guess, the basics right here. Kind of shows you how to run them. Standard configuration, SLI, and then I guess Crossfire for the AMD people. Connect system power to the GeForce graphics. Okay. PCI Express power connectors from the system power supply. Okay, that's interesting stuff to me. I'm gonna have to figure that out. Cool thing here EVGA did. What if you don't like black? What if you hate that, think it looks horrible? You get white. So one of each. That's nice. EVGA, let's see here. What do we have? More kind of literature here, but they're pushing their power supplies. I've heard great things about them, but I can't speak for them personally. What have we here? 6-pin power and 8-pin power. So that's cool. Nothing fancy here. They're just sort of your stereotypical, you know, standard traditionally sleeved wires. So look pretty nice though. Right here. What is this? This is some sort of an adapter, right? Alright, DVI to VGA. So if you're still rocking the old school monitors, you know, the ones that are like flat screen in the front and 40 pounds in the back, they've got you covered, because otherwise you'd probably still have to be sourcing some old stuff there. Alright, now this is the core of the component here, obviously, and it is a graphics card. This is actually a very nice packaging setup. Right here, think of that side as like the binder, sort of a spiral notebook, and then this side here, it should, if I'm thinking correctly, pop open, should be able to check out our card. So that's nice. This is actually, once again, just like with our Corsair power supply, in my short time on this earth, something I've noticed is the better packed something is, the more well thought out what's included with it is. Couple those two things together, and that is usually a great indicator for the quality of the end product. So not always the case, but I would say 90+% of the time it is. And this is what we want to gander at. Let's pop this thing out. So it's not super heavy, but hey, if I was a motherboard, I wouldn't be wanting to hold it all day without support either. But there we go. It's kind of got the blue on black, white GeForce GTX 970 graphics. We want to remove that film before use. That makes sense, does it not? You can sort of see the cooling there, kind of the heat pipes. They're just copper in there. Again, that's not objective, or I guess like terribly bad that they're not plated, because they're kind of so hard to see. Right here, this is, I guess, the business end here. And I do have that backing plate that we could install. Again, I'm kind of trying to decide if we want to paint the backing plate and the shroud. Sort of need it mocked up in the case to know for sure, because I honestly don't have anything against the black. Right here though, ooh, look at that. They gave us dust covers. Isn't that nice? So they even tell us what they are. You got your DVI up there. We've got, I guess, the HDMIs and everything here. So there's, I guess, that's set up not too shabby. So again, you can actually keep those in place. It'll keep the dust down for whatever that may turn out to be worth. And yeah, there's the heat pipes kind of terminating right there. Overall, it's, I mean, it's not the fanciest, it's not the shiniest, it doesn't have the most features, there's not water cooling or light up effects, but you know what? If it works and it delivers the performance we need, oh wow, the Texans-Patriots game's over already. That's crazy. Anyway, Patriots won, for those of you wondering. It's gonna do the job for me, and I'm content with that. We also saved a lot of money versus some of the alternatives. I think what we'll do here, and they do seem to have another iteration of this with the backing plate pre-installed that was out of stock when I got it. Plus, I think I came out cheaper buying this and the backing plate separately. So we'll move this plug and some other stuff off of this seemingly innocent cardboard box, right? And sleeved envelope, we should say, perhaps. Right here, EVGA. And what we want to do is slide this out. We will set that down there. Set this here. That's just kind of like a cardboard sleeve to protect it. This is essentially what we got. It looks like a pretty simple installation. But again, my thing is, do I want to paint it when I sort of need to hold it up in the case with the motherboard and decide? But basically, what are there? There's you're going to remove 7 circled screws indicated below, basically the perimeters of your graphics card. And then you're going to slide this into place, and then you're going to use your new screws that are included in this kit and reverse what you did in step 1. Simple, right? So let's open this bad boy up. You've got your, I guess, slightly, ever so slightly longer mounting screws right there. It looks like they're tipped with Loctite too. And here is our backing plate that we popped for. This was $19.99. I remember that. So kind of a cool look. It does have a film on it, so it might glare a little bit more. But again, you can kind of, anywhere you see that sort of silver insert, that's one of our mounting screws. So keep that in mind. Right here, it's kind of got, I guess, like an adhesive to kind of help it, or that might just be a pad. I think that might just be padding, actually, to kind of keep it spaced properly. And that's that, though. I mean, $19.99, I guess it'll support it a little bit better. And in all honesty, depending on what everything looks like, the backing plate and the shroud might potentially get a coat of paint on them. So we'll have to see. I'm comfortable doing that. There's not a risk of screwing anything up. I will pull the shroud from the card before we paint. Sort of the secret step there. So that's it. This is the EVGA GeForce GTX 970. It is ACX 2.0. Reviews on it, and there are a ton of them. It is fantastic. It's a generation old, I guess, or previous year model, however they structure this stuff. And basically what that means is you still get something that performs fantastic, but for roughly half the price of what's brand new. And again, for me personally, what I would gain by having a 980 is pretty much not measurable in quantitative terms aside from bragging rights. And when bragging rights are basically making me double the price of the component, I'm okay with sticking with the previous gen stuff. So pretty excited about this. Again, if we paint it, we'll kind of highlight that later. But once again, hope this helps you out. Kind of covered what the box says, showcased what we got with it, and more importantly, you sort of got to take a look at it in person, in hand, and that might help sway your opinion whether to pick it up or not pick it up. So that's it. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you as we continue to take a look at a few components here and attempt to throw them all together in a functioning computer. So stay tuned for that, and I will catch you later.